Out here, strength isn't a number, it's survival. The Australian outback will break anything that isn't built right. Heat, dust, endless road, and weight that would crush normal trucks in minutes. But one machine laughs at all of it. A machine so big, so brutal, it hauls entire towns behind it. This is the story of the strongest truck on Earth, the road train, built to haul the impossible and to conquer the kind of land most people wouldn't dare to cross. The earliest road trains came in the 1930s and 40s when Australian engineers started experimenting with military tractors left over from World War II. They modified American rigs like the Diamond T and Mack NR with extra axles and reinforced frames. The idea was simple: take the raw power of a military hauler and turn it into a commercial beast that could survive the outback. The roads were rough, mostly dirt tracks, and the distances were unforgiving. Only the toughest machines and the toughest drivers survived. By the 1960s, road trains had evolved into a breed of their own. The Mack R series was one of the first true legends. It had the strength of a tank and the heart of a long hauler, powered by a big 6-cylinder diesel that never gave up. Drivers called it the dog that never dies. It didn't matter if it was pulling fuel across desert heat or cattle through monsoon mud, the R series kept moving, and when one finally reached the end of the line, it was usually because the driver did, not the truck. But it wasn't until the 1980s and 90s that the road train truly came of age. That's when the giants arrived, machines like the Kenworth C509, Western Star 6900 XD, and Mack Titan. These weren't just trucks anymore, they were rolling fortresses of torque and noise. Each one packed massive diesel engines producing over 600 horsepower, sometimes more. The Kenworth C509, for example, became the king of the outback. 18-speed transmission, twin fuel tanks, and a frame strong enough to haul 200 tons across terrain that wasn't even paved. Picture it, 4 trailers stretching nearly 200 feet long, loaded with cattle or iron ore. The sun baking the horizon, dust clouds swallowing everything in sight, and at the front, a Kenworth C509 growling through the heat like it owns the desert. The driver sits high above the chaos, sunglasses on, both hands gripping the wheel, watching the endless road disappear beneath him. The roar of the turbocharged Cummins engine fills the air. Every downshift sounds like thunder rolling through the sand. The Mack Titan was another monster built for this world. With up to 685 horsepower from its massive MP10 diesel engine, it was designed to handle the heaviest road train combinations ever put on Australian roads. Mack's engineers called it overbuilt on purpose. Every bolt, every gear, every inch of steel was designed to endure punishment, day after day, year after year. You could run it in 50-degree heat, pulling over 200 tons of weight, and it would keep going without a complaint. Road trains aren't just about power, they're about endurance. A single trip can stretch over 1,000 miles, from the dusty cattle stations of Queensland to the iron mines of Western Australia. Drivers often spend days behind the wheel, sleeping in roadside pullouts, eating in tiny roadhouses where everyone knows everyone. They talk about the road trains the way sailors talk about ships, with respect and a little bit of fear, because out here, one mistake, one mechanical failure can mean disaster. The modern kings of the outback are bigger than ever. The Kenworth T909 and C509 dominate the northern routes, their massive bull bars cutting through kangaroos and debris like battering rams. These trucks are equipped with everything: oversized radiators, reinforced air intakes, extra fuel capacity, and heavy-duty cooling systems to survive temperatures that would cook most engines. Each one can weigh up to 200 tons fully loaded, stretching more than 180 feet long. Watching them thunder down a dirt highway is like seeing a freight train on wheels, and it's not just Australia anymore. The idea of the road train has spread to mining and military operations around the world. In Canada's Arctic regions, massive Western Star and Freightliner rigs pull fuel and equipment across frozen tundra, using the same principles first tested in the outback. In the Middle East, specially designed heavy haulers carry oil rigs and military hardware across endless deserts. But Australia remains the beating heart of the road train world, where men and machines are pushed to the edge of what's possible. For the men who drive them, it's not just a job, it's a calling. They say the outback teaches you humility. You learn to trust your machine, to respect its limits, and to know when to push beyond them. The road train isn't a machine you command, it's a creature you cooperate with. Treat it wrong, and it'll throw you off the road. Treat it right and it'll carry the impossible straight through hell and back. When a road train rolls through the outback, everything else disappears. The rumble hits before the sight, a deep vibration in the ground that feels like thunder moving sideways. Then, through the dust, a blur of chrome and steel takes shape. 4 trailers, maybe 5, linked together in one unbroken line of motion. It's not just a truck anymore. It's a land-bound freight train commanded by one driver and one engine that refuses to quit. The modern road train is the definition of controlled chaos. The driver sits high in the cab of a Kenworth C509 or T909, surrounded by gauges, switches, and levers. The engine beneath him, a massive turbocharged Cummins or Caterpillar, roars at 1,800 RPM, churning out up to 700 horsepower. It's a truck that can run 24 hours a day, hauling 3 or 4 trailers in brutal conditions and still sound smooth as a heartbeat. The Titan's sheer strength makes it the backbone of Australia's mining industry, hauling fuel, ore, and equipment across routes longer than some countries. Then there's the Western Star 6900 XD, a monster with the attitude to match. It's often used in the Pilbara region, where iron ore road trains stretch over 180 feet long. Each trip can move more than 250 tons of material. The 6900 XD's Detroit diesel engine delivers brutal torque, its frame reinforced with enough steel to survive years of abuse. These aren't trucks for showrooms. They're built to die old, out in the sun, covered in dust, their paint eaten away, but their engines still pounding like drums. Every great road train driver will tell you, it's not about speed, it's about rhythm. Once you're in motion, the truck becomes alive. The trailers sway like the tail of a giant animal, and if you don't feel that movement, you'll lose control. Corners are taken slow, every bump felt through the seat. When overtaking another rig on a 2-lane highway, you don't rush, you commit. One mistake out here can turn hundreds of tons of metal into twisted wreckage. There's no rescue helicopter waiting nearby. You fix it yourself or you don't come back. And yet, despite the danger, there's beauty in it. Driving a road train through the outback at dawn feels almost spiritual. The horizon burns gold, the air shimmers with heat, and the red dust turns the sky into fire. You can go hours without seeing another soul. It's just you, the road, and the machine. A partnership built on trust and defiance. Over the years, these machines have only grown stronger. In the world of ultra-heavy hauling, the Kenworth C509 remains the undisputed king. Some versions are custom-tuned for over 700 horsepower, fitted with triple fuel tanks that hold more than 1,000 gallons combined. The cab is built like a survival capsule, thick insulation, extra cooling systems, reinforced suspensions, and satellite communication. These trucks are designed to live off the grid. If the world ended tomorrow, a road train could keep driving for weeks without stopping. Even the logistics behind them are a marvel. The trailers are linked with massive converter dollies, each one engineered to handle independent weight and braking systems. The tires are designed for both bitumen and red dust, capable of enduring heat that melts rubber on lesser rigs. Maintenance is constant. A single road train can rack up more than 1 million miles before retirement. By then, it's part of the land itself, a moving monument to human stubbornness. Outside of Australia, the same spirit exists in remote regions like Canada and South America. The Freightliner Coronado and Kenworth T908 run similar multi-trailer setups on Arctic ice roads, carrying fuel to remote mining towns. But nowhere else on Earth matches Australia's scale. 200 tons of payload, 180 feet of machinery, and a single driver holding it all together with steel nerves and diesel fuel. To watch a road train thunder down a dirt highway is to witness the purest form of mechanical dominance. It's noise and vibration and motion fused into one. Stopping isn't an option. That's what makes it the strongest truck on Earth. Not the size, not the numbers, but the simple truth that it was built to haul the impossible and to never, ever give up.